Get these codes put in, and then we will start. So this first one is going to be D.Va gameplay. And both of these games are just going to be quick play, but it's going to just be primarily basics for the most part. Positioning, decision making, things like that. So this would be so much easier to do if I had a PC. Haha. Alright. So right here, this is exactly where you want to be holding as D.Va to start this, unless your entire team is playing this bottom right corner. Reinhardt's overextended. Okay, not a good drop. You want to try to stay on the high ground and contest it, because most teams are going to rotate up to that right side. Let's get pressure, go up, take high ground, very nice. Okay, so they have a Doomfist, so this is going to be, with the Doomfist, the Zen, Reaper, and the Ryan, you need to play a little bit smarter. Try not to brawl with them, play it a little bit more ranged. Good job dropping. A little bit of a waste of micro missiles. Good focus on the Doom. Good eat on the Zen's orbs. Focusing the Reaper down very well. Doing a good job of protecting your backline here. Excellent focus fire on the Reaper. So far, this D.Va gameplay is very solid. I mean, play the high ground a little more is kind of the only thing right now. Okay, so with your micro missiles, try not to use them until you can guarantee that you're going to hit them. It's about an 8-second cooldown, which a lot of D.Va's damage comes from the micro missiles unless you're right up in their face, so you definitely want to make sure that you're not using them just off cooldown. I kind of make those mistakes too. Doing a good job of pressuring them when they flank. Good eat on her micro missiles. Okay, so again, you're using your micro missiles. You want to wait until you can guarantee you're going to hit a couple of them, or use them on the Reinhardt shield. Very good awareness of your backline here. Don't know why your Rein charged there. You don't really have a whole lot that you need to absolutely eat. It's just Rein Fire Strikes, Moira Orbs, so. Good peel for you, Zen. Doing a great job of peeling for your backline. Okay, so you know where the Rhine is. You guys haven't gotten picks. What I would do is throw your bomb and try to aim it and get it right over this edge right here. You're probably only going to kill the Lucio, but if nothing else, it's going to force the rest of the team to get around the corner, and your team can hopefully get some picks. The other option would be just throw it on cart. But you need to look to bomb right here. See what happens. Okay, with that Mei wall coming out and Reaper just used Wraith, you definitely need to look for your bomb. That you're holding this D.Va bomb too long. You could have forced beat out a little sooner, assuming they even had it. Yeah, and I mean, now you just gotta get out. Just die on cart. Don't even try to back out. Okay, so when you get demeched like this, the worst thing you can do is run back to your team without much ult charge to get your mech back. You need to just go die on cart. Whenever you get demeched and you're the last, like, 1 or 2 people in the fight, die on cart immediately, because, like, you're basically down 5-6 whenever the next fight starts with the baby D.Va. If you would have gone and died on cart, you wouldn't have staggered yourself. Okay, your team's gonna try to fight this, which makes no sense. They lose it predictably. Just back up. Okay. If you're gonna be Baby D.Va in this situation, just spam through the choke here. You may not hit anything, but you need to just be spamming with your Bunny Blaster because you've got to get your mech back as quick as you can. Okay, now you back up. Okay. It's a good res. Back up behind your Reinhardt, remech. Good remech. Not bad micro missiles. Okay. So when bombing into a Reinhardt, yes, he just got countercharged, but this is a very easy block. You want to throw it up and force him to look up. I know your Rein just died, but it's a good habit to get in because if your Rein has shatter and that Rein has to look up to block the bomb, you can get a big shatter, potential 3k, 4k, depending on how many people are grouped up. This wasn't a good situation to bomb. Your Rein just died, their Rein, this is an easy block. There's really no value with this bomb. Like, there's no one on cart for it to kill. I think the most you can hope for is you're going to demech their D.Va, which she's safe behind the shield. So, you held bomb too long on A, and you're bombing way too soon here on B. Still killed the Moira. Good pick. It's good fire with your micro missiles. I mean, you need to get out. Good job of pressuring this Doomfist as much as you can. This Rein is just farming shatter. Not much you can do there. This is another situation where you're playing on this low ground so much. You really need to try to play like top left, top right, especially the way they're playing. You could get a lot of poke in on their Rein or their D.Va and just kind of make them look at you, basically. Good remake. Good job getting out of that. Okay, so you didn't have boosters. Okay. That's a good bomb. Force beat out and force them to rotate. That's a nice bomb. I thought you left it on the corner there for a second. Good job getting out. Very good. You want to control high down. Take that left side over here. So instead of holding up here on this right, yes, you have this longer sight line, but holding here, you're closer. You're going to get more value out of your micro missiles and your shotguns. And you're closer to pressure their back line. So you can pressure their Lucio, you pressure their D.Va, you can pressure their Rein right here versus holding up here. You're taking this away, but you got to think, what are you taking this away from? They have a Reaper and a Doomfist. They're not going to hold up here. They might use up here occasionally, but that's about it. Their D.Va isn't... If their D.Va shouldn't try to come up here unless one of your team is up here. So you want to try to hold this left side instead on the high ground. Pressure them once you start taking damage to where you need to actually get out. Then just fly right back here, let your Mercy heal you up, and then you take over as the front line until your Rein gets back. Just got to play back a little bit. if that happens. Good eat. Good job getting out. For the most part, you're doing a good job of not staying in positions where you could potentially feed. It's a couple fights where you're not really feeding, but taking unnecessary poke. Good job flying into cover res. You don't have boosters, there's not much you can do there. Just stay up here and spam. All you need to do right here, your D-Mac, just hold this corner and spam at them. That's it, that's all you need to do. There's no reason to do anything crazy and fancy and drop down or anything like that. Very good. Okay, you end up dropping once they tried to contest you, very good. Good spam with your bunny blaster. I mean, in between fights, there's not a lot to really go over right here. Wait for them to poke and try to focus on hitting one person. Good remake. Okay, again, come up here, take this left high ground. That's what you want to do. You want to control high ground. You either want to come take this high ground. Your Ryan's stupid. He's feeding. You do not want to follow him in, which you haven't been doing, which is good. If you really wanted to, if you know where their Ryan is, you can push up to this corner, but he's right there. So the second you see that, I would just immediately back up if you take the corner. Okay, you're eating nothing right there. Really try to think about with your D.Va, what am I eating? Like with the comp that they have, all you need to focus on are the other D.Va's micro missiles, Ryan Fire Strike, Moira Orbs, and then Reaper when he uses Death Blossom. Good job avoiding the charge. Cancel your boosters next time. When you fly up like that, just hit your boosters again and it'll cancel. You can just drop back down. There's no need to run your boosters out completely and do some fancy stuff that could potentially lead you overextending. Good focus fire. He's gonna blossom here very soon. Hopefully you've been tracking that. Don't do that. Do not fly at a Reinhardt. Unless he has no shield, you do not want to fly at a Reinhardt. You're just gonna give him ult charge and take a lot of unnecessary damage, but he doesn't even have the balls to drop his shield, so. Okay, eat Fire Strike next time. Unfortunate. And yeah, that's it. Okay. So positioning, you just need to play high ground more. In terms of your D matrix, just really try to be thinking about what you're eating and what you need to save it for. Micro missiles, you were using them in very unnecessary situations. I understand it though, it's an issue that, like, I have that issue too. Overall it was solid. The peel was very good, and I'm assuming that none of them were in comms, so makes it even better. Yeah, I mean overall that was very solid D.Va gameplay. Mechanics look pretty decent. You were holding your bomb way too long. You could have thrown that in certain situations. So now we are getting into Sigma. So this will be interesting. Alright. Okay, so you're running a Sig D.Va. So you're gonna have to make sure you think of Sig as a main tank, not an off tank, which means you're gonna have to play corners a lot more, and you're gonna need to be really careful with your shield management and managing your kinetic grasp. That's the first thing. Second, obviously you don't know the comp that they have yet, but running into a Ryan D.Va, much easier to do this than running into a Ryan Zarya. They do have a Sombra though, so yeah, This game might be a pain in the ass if that Sombra knows what she's doing. Okay, so first mistake is positioning. Even when they're coming out of spawn, unless you're running a Reinhardt on this, or like a double shield with an Orisa to where you can get the range for the poke through here, you want to hold right here. Because this choke, you can get a lot of spam through even as Sigma. The furthest up you should go is maybe right here, to where you still have an angle that you can hit the edge of the bus if they push through right here. But this position is not good, because all they need to do is realize, oh, it's a Sigma. Let's just speed onto him or rush him real quick, and if you get hacked right here, you're going to die. Plus, they have a Widow, and you know that now, so you really shouldn't be holding this position. Good damage on the Rhine. Try to aim a little bit lower with your orbs. You're going to try to get in the habit of bouncing them off the ground. Okay, so you need to recall your shield when it gets to half health, and then play back a little bit. Use your kinetic grasp before you so the way you want to do this, your shield gets half health, you want to recall it, wait a few seconds for it to start to actually recharge. Use your kinetic grasp to eat, and take a little bit of space with that. Wait a few more seconds, redeploy your shield. That's kind of the dance you have to do with Sigma, managing his cooldowns and managing his shield. Never, you cannot let your shield break, especially if you're main tanking. Very good rock. Need to aim a little lower with your orbs still, and the reason I say that is if you aim a little bit lower, just get in the habit all the time of doing that, you're going to be able to bounce them into DPS, and you have a better likelihood of hitting both of them. Okay, again, you need to think of Sigma as a main tank. You should not be chasing this D.Va. He is an off tank, but in this comp, he is a main tank for you. You can't be chasing a D.Va like that. Very good rock. Now you're starting to aim a little bit lower. You can probably aim a little lower than that. You need to get on point. Nice flux. Very good rock. Good eat. Tried to push up with it. That's good. Doing a good job of getting out. Just block it. Nice. Your D.Va's actually dumb. Okay, so normally as Sigma, that would be a good shield. The only problem is, again, you're main tanking with Sigma. You need to save your shield to keep in the front line. It's okay to try to throw it up there occasionally, like right now, but just don't do that in the middle of a team fight. Good job destroying the Venom Mine. You need to back up and play corner here. There's no way, you don't have the presence to fight further up. Okay, right here, recall your shield. You're leaving it up way too long, and it's just sitting there. You have basically 200 permanent damage on it. You need to, whenever your shield is not taking damage and you're not in a fight to where you need to actually use it, recall it. Let it recharge. It's just like with Reinhardt to let his recharge. Realized it a little late. Good rock. So Widow should die. Getting some solid poke in. Shields so your supports can get out. Your shield is so versatile. If your supports are that far up and out of position, throw it up there so they can back up and get out without dying. You need to just play the corner. It was a good shield to make sure your Mercy could get out. Great rock. Ryan dies here. Very good. Your positioning is a little weird with Sig. even now, like, you've killed the Rhine, take this corner. You do a lot of damage and you can be a presence when they don't have a Reinhardt. Just take this corner. Don't play way back. You're playing a little too safe with him on some of these fights. When that Rhine goes down, you can get aggressive. Good eat. Okay, again, you should not be the one chasing this Widow down. You are Sigma. You play as the main tank in this comp, not the off tank. It's a good pick, but now you're out of position. Good rock. Your team did a very good job of peeling for you there. That Mercy's actually stupid. So you're doing a better job of playing corner here. This would be a situation that you could shield the Widow. You have nobody in the fight aside from that Orisa that your team is chasing down. Just throw your shield up at the Widow. Make sure she can't get a quick pick. Very nice. Once they commit, you need to recall your shield. Very ambitious flux. Okay. So when you're going to flux like this, you want to get in, pick them up, and then immediately back up. You staying right here, you're going to get killed out of it immediately, and you end up dying. You come in, you flux, and then you back up. Really what I would do, I wouldn't even push up to flux here. Wait for them to push through the arch, flux them in the arch, and then play the corner. That's really what you should do in this situation. You got a little over-ambitious with your flux, because the value with this flux, all you get is the D.Va. She's not going to get demeched because the Mercy's on her. You die, like, this is just unnecessary. This is a very early flux, and doesn't... There wasn't much value to be had fluxing them here. You really want to wait for them to get in this choke, flux them up when they're in the choke, play the corner, that way you don't get killed out of it. You can still spam by hitting the wall to the right here, or just shooting down. You slam them, and then you can come back around, get aggressive on them.
Breakthrough's near. I could feel it.
So yeah, your team needs to be on full retreat here. Your Bastion's feeding. Good grasp, play back a little bit, recall your shield. You're leaving your shield up way too long. It's not taking damage, it's not any use up there. Good job backing up when you get hacked. Yeah, that was the right call. You guys weren't getting another fight there. Good job backing up. Hold that corner. Don't back up here. Hold this corner. You guys can still fight right here. You hold this corner until your shield gets really low, and then you eat to back up right here. Don't back up immediately. You're giving too much ground. They switched to an Orisa. Sig can kind of wreck an Orisa if you play it right. Taking unnecessary damage. You let your shield break again. You need to use your kinetic grasp more. Don't shield an amp matrix. You need to just peek out. If you want to let somebody peek that corner, use your kinetic grasp to take the damage. Let them peek right behind you, and then you back up. Really, you should just play the corner. You shouldn't ever try to peek it. Doing fine spamming here. Throw your rock, nice. Again, letting your shield break. You're not using your grasp nearly enough. You need to just eat. Use it right here to push in. Good shield on the Widow. You need to recall your shield now. You really just need to shield her off until you know she backs off. Okay. That was a dumb EMP. Okay, so I get why you grasp in this 1v1, but when you're playing against a Sombra, the worst thing you can do is use your kinetic grasp because she's just gonna hack you. You need to just back up and not try to kill her here. She has the health pack hacked. Even if she doesn't throw her translocator immediately, she can just quickly throw it out toward the health pack and then go to it. She has her hack. She's full health. You were half health. You need to just back up. Like, concede this room, let her take it, come back here, help your team. The fact that your Mercy got that res. She's just gonna focus hack you. You need to draw her out to where your team can hit her. Take the corner. Good. This is good fire here. Good poke on the Orisa, forcing resources. Okay. Hold this corner. Recall your shield and use your kinetic grasp. You're not using them, like, you're not trying to balance them really at all. You're kind of just leaving your shield out, letting it break, and then backing up when it breaks. I mean, right there, it was just... The second that D.Va pushed you, you needed to recall the shield. Even then, I'm not sure it would have been off cooldown quick enough with the changes to it. Okay, again, you're leaving your shield out way too long. That's just a common theme in this game right here. The shield is staying out way too long, and it is it's partially why you guys are struggling to hold space. Don't chase. Don't chase with Sigma. When you're having the main tank with him, you cannot afford to take these chases even in the middle of, like, even at the end of fights. Because this Sombra could easily hack you and get a ton of ult charge off of you, even though she already has ult. Chasing this is just not a good thing to do. I know this is quick play, you're probably not in comms with any of these people, but really your D.Va needs to be the one that goes and chases her down. Because what you do now is, like, this fight is going to start and you're going to be way out of position because of how slow Sigma is. I respect the teabag. That's still a 1v1 you shouldn't be taking, though. Eat. You're staying out in the open way too long with these fluxes. Good pick on the Widow. That is the dumbest nano that your Ana could have thrown out. Throw your rock. When your D.Va is using her defense matrix, throw your rock at her. Or when their D.Va is, rather. You need to use your kinetic grasp more. You can get a ton of shield off of this Orisa and aggress on her. You could get aggro on this Orisa if you just use your grasps and walk toward her. Okay. You're kind of all over the place when it comes to focusing your target. You needed to just keep spamming at them in that little room to the right in your front line, even though you got hacked. Like, the Sombra, if your team, your backline gets killed by the Sombra, you had a Pharah behind you, you had your Ana behind you, I think you had your Mercy behind you too. No, it was your Ana. Yeah, you know, your Mercy too. So they are going to, if they all three die to that Sombra, I don't know what to say. But you turning around and hard focusing the Sombra, it enables this baby D.Va and this Ana to push in, rather than you staying here and pressuring them to where you could have potentially killed one or both of them, and then turn around and dealt with the Sombra if she's still back here. But what happens is you turn around and kill the Sombra, or pressure her rather, she doesn't die, and yeah, that's great, but now these two can just push in and try to kill both of your supports and your Pharah. Okay, so you get res, she gets antied, it ends up not mattering. But if you play against a more coordinated, like a legitimately coordinated team, that is going to come back to bite you. Use your kinetic grasp. Use your kinetic grasp. You're not using it enough. Right here, use your kinetic grasp while she's fortified. You're not going to do enough damage to kill her. You get overshield. You can stay in her face longer. Because one thing with Sigma's kinetic grasp, it gives him shield, overshield, on top of his health and shield already. So you can actually take damage for a little bit without feeding ult charge to the other team. Okay. Try not to rock when somebody's fortified. You had the right idea, she just fortified. Use your kinetic grasp here. Push up. Use your kinetic grasp. Good. Very good rock. So right there, your shield took, is in between fights, so nitpicky point, but your shield took unnecessary damage from that bomb. You weren't in range to die to that. Good pressure on that Ana. That's when it's okay to turn around when you're having to play main tank as Sig. Now, if you're playing Sig with an actual main tank like Rhino or Orisa, all of these flanks and stuff you're doing, and, you know, peel, is fine. It's great. The problem is you are the shield right now. You have to play like a main tank, not an off tank. Okay, don't flux on Orisa when she doesn't use Fortify. That one big thing with Gravitic Flux is looking at the value that you're gonna get with it. Like fluxing tanks when they're full health is a waste of the ultimate, and especially in Orisa when you know she has Fortify, because she's just gonna drop out of flux and not get damaged. What you want to do is go for the supports, go for the DPS, go for, if you can get like 5 people in a flux, fantastic. Don't look for the perfect flux though. Go for their Ana and Baptiste. Force them to use cooldowns. Force them to, you know, use Immortality Field to save the support line. Try to force out, you know, Sleep Dart, Bionade, something. You know, if, you know, best case scenario, you get the supports, both of the supports up in a flux, you kill both of them. Worst case scenario, you force out a few ultimates if you play corner, and, well, not necessarily ultimates, you force out a few abilities if you play the corner and don't stay out in the open and die to it, like die while you're fluxing. Keeping shield up too long here. Okay, you just got pulled. That was the right idea with the rock. It's a good hack on the Sombra's part. You're doing a good job backing up. Your Ana did a great job supporting you there. Rock the D.Va. Very nice. Good D-Mech. You still need to aim a little bit lower with your orbs. You're kind of getting in that habit, but you need to aim, you need to do it a lot more consistently. Good idea with the rock. You just, I think, tried to throw it a little too late, and they see 9. Cool. Yeah, Sigma a lot more to focus on than D.Va. D.Va, I think it's mainly just positioning issues, and then a few minor mechanical things. Sigma, there's a lot more egregious errors, might be too severe of a term, but that honestly is probably the way to put it for like a Sigma player that's been playing for a while. Shield management is a big thing with him. You've got to recall the shield you're leaving out way too long, and use your kinetic grasp more, especially in that comp that they were playing. Like if you can keep kind of somewhat of tabs on the Sombra, or at least on when she's used hack, then you can use your grasp a lot more freely. Flux, you're staying out in the open way too long. you need to play corner. You need to find like a corner to play when you use it. Don't flux up and then charge their team while you're doing it. You're gonna get killed out of it almost every time. But yeah, your accretions were good for the most part. There were just a couple that had a minor issue with them, and it was just because the Orisa used Fortify primarily. And then your main, like using your orbs, you just need to aim a little bit lower and try to get in the habit of bouncing them a little bit. But overall, good play. So, yeah, those were the only two codes I had, so that's where we're going to call it.